Welcome to Dalma Makes. In this video, I'll share with you the process of transforming a glass bottle into an aquatic steampunk vase. This is an upcycling project, and the idea came from this beautifully shaped bottle with a wider mouth. Frankly, even by itself, this bottle would make a lovely little vase, but of course, I had to transform it. To prep the bottle, I peeled off and scraped off the label. Another way, of course, is to soak it off, but I'm the impatient sort. I also wanted to hide the threads on the bottleneck, so I decided to initially use some cardboard for that foundation, and I just cut off a strip, realized it was too tall and I needed just about half of it. I measured and cut off the appropriate strip. While working with the cardboard, I also realized it will be great for my main element. I wanted this bottle to have a porthole like a ship or a submarine. And for that, I needed a ring of some kind. I traced a cup that was about the right size and then cut a circle out with a sharp blade. Happy with that size, I used some scissors to cut out a neat little cardboard ring. I just used some scrap corrugated cardboard for this, and actually the corrugation made it easier to sort of shape it to the bottle. Happy with that, I attached the cardboard pieces with some hot glue. I know hot glue is not really permanent on glass, but I had confidence that the next steps will definitely secure them. To add some texture to the bottle, I used some segments of this loosely woven mesh material. It's kind of like cheesecloth, but a lot rougher. And I'm just cutting off pieces and attaching them with gel matte medium, arranging the fabric as I go with my fingers and my brush in a way that kind of follows the shape of the bottle. I thought this would allude to fishing nets. This needed a few hours to dry, and I also added a little ring of lace around the neck. For the next step, I'm going to use some air dry clay. I made sure I had a container with some water on hand, as wetting the surface makes the air dry clay stick better. I'm going to use the air dry clay around the porthole and to shape the mouth of the vase, as well as a filler and glue to attach my other decorative elements. I'm also using it to fill in the holes present in the corrugation of the cardboard. I'm using my fingers and a silicone tool for sculpting. I wanted to add more material to the mouth of the vase. I wanted a little bit of a flared shape. I originally thought I could just make it out of clay, but I didn't like that very much. So I decided to add this beaded trim at the mouth that ended up working out pretty well. To texture the clay I used a ball stylus, a couple of sizes actually, to make little indentations that I think are reminiscent of the texture of corals or sea sponges. Another main element I wanted to attach were all these gears and cogs. They're just such a wonderful little way to add that steampunk vibe to any project. It alludes to greater mysteries inside, makes me wonder what kind of mechanical miracles are they attached to inside. I keep adding blobs of the air dry clay, pressing the gears into it with the help of a bit of PVA glue just for secure attachment, and continuing to texture with the ball stylus. After drying overnight, I decided to add some rivets to the porthole, and I'm just using some cheap plastic rhinestones to do that. I attached them at equidistance from each other as best as I could. With the glue dry, it is time for painting. I base coated the entirety of the surface with a few coats of blue paint. In the first pass, of course, making sure to get into all of the recesses and indentations. With the base coat fully dry, I started adding my colors. I used a variety of blues, some true blues and some going towards violet and ultramarine, including an outright plum color. I am loosely overbrushing all of these colors in a random way, sort of picking out areas that take my fancy, alternating, sort of building up layers. I really wanted a good variation, and I wanted to catch the highlights with the lighter colors and make all those textures stand out. Once happy with my blues, I picked a nice and reliable dark brown color, and I repainted the porthole with it. This time using a much smaller brush, trying to color inside the lines. All of those gears got the same treatment as I painted over all of them with the same brown to start with. This makes them stand out against the background. I always wanted them to be a different color from the background. It was just a lot easier to not have to paint around them when tending to the background. Towards the end, I also used my finger around the mouth of the vase to add a little bit of that brown around the beaded trim. The step that really brought this project to life is adding the metallics. I picked a beautiful deep copper color and I used my finger and rubbed it all over the porthole and the gears. That deep brown base color really made the metallic pop and stand out against the beautiful blue. With a much drier finger, quite sparingly, I added a little bit of the same metallic here and there over the raised textures as well, and then moved on to my eternally favored gold paint and added more of that in the background with a very light hand, just giving it that extra shimmer and warm glow. To clean up the glass inside the porthole, I just used a sharp blade, once again taking the easy path instead of trying to be very accurate with my brush. And with a few wet wipes, that glass cleaned up perfectly. And there it is. The transformation is complete. I'm happy with this vase and I'm actually going to use it as I needed one for flowers with shorter stems. The contrast between the background and the brown elements is very pleasing to me, and even without flowers, this will look beautiful on my shelf. I think most of us from time to time come across these more interestingly shaped bottles. I always feel like I want to keep them to make something special out of them instead of just recycle them, giving them a second life and a new purpose. What about you? Do you like upcycling things? Please do let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts on this project and about your upcycling project as well. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to press the like button and consider subscribing to my channel. I publish crafty videos every week. Thank you for watching. I hope you're having a nice day. Bye.